Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Argylle. This is a new film from 2024, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 19 minutes. As of the recording of this video, we have a Rotten Tomatoes score of 35% from the critics, 64% from the audience, and a Letterboxd average rating of 2.6. And I can't say that I disagree with. I can understand where all those numbers and figures are coming from. Let's talk about the synopsis real quick. In this film, when the plots of reclusive author Ellie Conway's fictional espionage novels begin to mirror the covert actions of a real life spy organization, quiet evenings at home become a thing of the past. Accompanied by her cat Alfie and Aiden, a cat allergic spy, Ellie races across the world to stay one step ahead of the killers as the line between Conway's fictional world and her real one begins to blur. This movie is directed by Matthew Vaughn and it stars Henry Cavill as Argylle, Dua Lipa as Lagrange, Ariana DeBose as Kira, Richard E. Grant as Director Fowler, John Cena as Wyatt. We also have Bryce Dallas Howard as Ellie Conway and Sam Rockwell as Aiden Wild. I won't give you the name of the character, but we also have Catherine O'Hare, Bryan Cranston, Sophia Botello, and Sam Jackson, all in this film. But I'd rather keep that to you. Like I'd rather you be surprised by who they are. So, how was this film? I had overall a decent time at this film. I don't think it was I don't know if it was the over. I don't know what happened. I feel like this movie maybe overhyped itself. Maybe I overhyped it in my mind. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun time. It is a little bit too long, and I'll get into that. But yeah, I think this is I think Matthew Vaughn fans will definitely enjoy this. So let's talk about some of the things that I liked and didn't like about this film. And I'll kind of, there's a lot of things that kind of come in pairs. So let's talk about this. First of all, I want to talk about the visuals. The visuals at a lot of points are stunning. Like this film is just very well shot. Matthew Vaughn knows how to do action, knows how to do some of the quiet scenes. Just there's so much detail in some of the backgrounds. And then we have on the other side the stuff when it comes to like more CGI stuff that's not fully real that you kind of need in an action film like this as well. It doesn't look very good. Like the stuff that is not digital looks so good that by comparison, when you go from one scene to the other, it's very jarring. Um, the film is definitely pretty nonstop. Like once you get going, once you hit that, once you get on the tracks, I'll say that. Like it just kind of goes and never stops. But it has a lot of twists, a lot of turns, and I think at some point we kind of begin to lose the element of surprise, or it's like diminishing returns on like twist upon twist and turn and like and I feel like the film is a little too long in that even though the pacing's pretty frantic for the most part, there are some lulls in between some of the uh, some of the sequences that just feel like maybe some of those things could have been shortened, edited. I don't know, like it just at almost 2.5 hours, this movie I think is just too long for what we are delivered. Another thing that I found interesting, Matthew Vaughn is known for his uh, rated R scenes when it comes to like the fighting and stuff. If you are familiar with the Kingsman franchise, uh, but this movie is PG-13, so a lot of that stuff is toned down, replaced with a little bit more comedy, which I really like. I actually think that the cast is very fun, very charismatic. I'm a big fan of Sam Rockwell. It was just so much fun to see him. Bryce Dallas Howard evokes that performance from her Black Mirror episode where you kind of start like you really feel bad for her for a long time, but then, like I said, through plot twists and turns and things like that, so you don't really know where to fall with the character after a little while. um, Everything that happens to me and everything that happens in the when it relates to the stuff from the book with Henry Cavill and Dua Lipa and John Cena, like all that stuff. Not only does it always look great, but I think it's a lot of fun. That world itself, the world of the book that this author has written, is a lot of fun to explore. And I think that it doesn't overstay its welcome at any time. I think actually Vaughn is actually pretty conservative with with how much of that is putting out in the movie. Um, After a while, the plot does become a little bit more predictable. That by the end, that you already kind of know what's going to happen. That may be by design because that's kind of the whole idea behind this world, right? That the author is already kind of telling you what things are going to happen. So maybe if that was by design, if that's or, if that just if anybody else feels that way, I think that's actually a plus for this film. Now, if you don't think that was a thing that Matthew Vaughn did purposely, then yeah, I think it'll be a negative. So, like I mentioned, I think fans of Matthew Vaughn will be delighted because this is definitely feels very a Vaughn core, if you will. So yeah, I think they'll be delighted. But everyone else, I think, is just kind of a toss up. Yeah, I think between this film overplaying its welcome at the theater during the trailers, because that was a big thing that I didn't experience myself, but on social media, a lot of people were like, "Why is this Argylle trailer everywhere I go?" I think this movie, your enjoyment of it will depend on how much candy can you have all at once. Um, that's kind of what it feels like. Like you start with the candy and it's great, but then like I said, it becomes like diminishing returns in some aspects of it. Matthew Vaughn is known for having like a really big action scene in his movies, and I feel like this one feels a bit underwhelming. It's still visually stunning, and I think it's overall a really cool concept. The film plays with a lot of really fun concepts with like the perception of reality, and this book and memories and kind of like the double turns of the spy world, like how a lie is always, a spy is always lying. So a lot of that stuff it plays with, and it's very fun. Uh, but when you have that over and over again over the course of 2.5 hours, it can get a little bit too much. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I can recommend you go watch this at the theater. But it will be if you do watch it at the theater. Like I said, when the visuals hit, I think that's the place to watch them. So, if you have seen this film, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. I won't even get into the after credit scene. That's probably for a whole other video, or maybe once people are talking about spoilers. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, let me know what you thought about it, anyways, in the comments. As always, stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. And make sure to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.